when the world is in crisis. And people are looking for hope and answers. Thai PBS World is there with you with the best minds of the day. Join us on Thai PBS World tonight, every weekdays at 7 p.m. Thai PBS World, we bring Thailand to the world.
Swadika and very good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World Tonight. I'm Nad Bunag.
I'm Tulip Nak Sompopla and we are going to start this edition of Thai PBS World Tonight with the gathering, the demonstration that has been going on at Lumpini Park. We have our correspondent there, Kun Kitipat Chun Sukjit. He will let us know what is going on right now. There is a group of yellow shirt people, they call themselves Thai Pakdi, which is the Royalist group. They will now still stay there at the Lumpini Park. They insist they don't want to clash with anyone. And we'll see what's happening now. Kun Kitipat.
Good evening, Kun Tilip and Kun Nat. Right now I'm at Lumpini Park where the gathering of the group that claims that they are the Royalists is held. So the gathering today is organized by the group called SPPS or ศูนย์รวมประชาชนปกป้องสถาบันพระมหากษัตริย์ or we can literally translate it to English as the center of people who protect the monarchy. And right now, as you can see behind me, the group of people is going back to their home, is leaving as the gathering is finished like last half an hour ago since 6:30 p.m. So during the gathering, Matun, one of the leader of the group, he said on stage that the gathering today is the consequence from yesterday protest by the pro-democracy or anti-government protest. He said the word using in the announcement yesterday was unacceptable for them, so that's why they have to be here today. And moreover, he said there'll be other gathering again in front of the embassy of Japan and France, which is the countries that the people who give a lot of critics too much to the monarchy stay. And another place is Thai Summit Building, which is owned by Kun Thanathorn Jururenkit, the former leader of Future Forward Party. After that, Kun Warongdet Wikom, the leader of Thai Pakdi group, said on the stage that there'll be an announcement about the anti-constitutional amendment in Nonthaburi province on October 31st or this Sunday. So this is the latest update here from Lumpini Park. Kun Nat and Kun Tilip.
Much, and that's the latest from Lumpini Park where the Royalists are gathering right now. And the Royalists actually gathered at Lumpini Park since 5 p.m. today to oppose the calls for reforms of the monarchy by the anti-government protesters, as well as to show support to the Thai monarchy. Warongdet Kitwikrom, the leader of the Royalist Thai Pakdi group, said the intention of the demonstrations today is not to confront with the young protesters, but to protect the royal institution. And earlier today, a small group of Thai Royalists rallied in front of the American Embassy on Wireless Road in Bangkok this morning to protest against the alleged interference by the U.S. into Thailand's internal affairs. Led by former entertainer Haruthai Muangbunsri, the group said that they demonstrated today to protect the monarchy. The Royalist group held placards which read, "Mr. Desombre, your job in Hong Kong was good, but it doesn't work for Thailand, and please stop hybrid war in Thailand." The hybrid war is based on unproven assumptions that governments from Western countries are behind the anti-government protests. Mrs. Haruthai claimed that the current political conflict, which has snowballed into demands for sweeping reform of the monarchy and has seen attacks on the institution by anti-establishment protesters, stemmed from the spread of distorted information and fake news about the institution. She said that the monarchy has been the center that connects Thai people together as a nation, but it is now a target of sacrilege committed by ill-intentioned elements. So that is the latest on the Royalist gatherings today.
I think it's a lot of people that believe in this, what's it called, the conspiracy theory.
Right.
They believe that there is some certain government try to topple all the royal family in the countries all over the world. And that there's a lot of belief revolving around this thing. And it's just unproven, like
Right.
we report to you, but there's something that can make people angry.
So we'll see how it goes with the royalist groups that will rally today and other days as well. And if you've been following the protest really closely, you will notice that there is more slang coming up and you might be wondering where it all came from. So in case you're still confused, we have this special report for you to make you understand what is actually going on.
Gang Tae-po, CIA, broccolis, and baby crystals. These are the secret codes that are used amongst anti-government protesters. Not sure what they mean? We got you covered. Let's start with the easiest one, the CIA, which refers to street food vendors at the rally sites. These vendors, especially those that sell meatballs, are named CIA for their ability to predict where protesters will gather and arriving at rally sites beforehand. Some vendors are also suspected of sending information about the protest to authorities. The FBI, according to the protesters, is short from Food and Beverage Institute, or people who provide food and drinks to anti-government protesters at rally sites. Some of the terms have clear resemblance to popular food items. Mocha refers to the police in coffee-colored uniforms. O Liang, literally Thai black coffee, refers to riot police in black. Broccoli is used to describe the military because they're usually in green, while carrots refers to monks, and of course, the baby carrots refers to novice monks. And here's the answer you've been waiting for. Gang Tae-po, a popular Thai curry that has been given a whole new meaning. The word gang or curry sounds like glang, which means to fool or trick somebody. Tae literally means to pour, is slang for dumping somebody. And you guessed it, po is short for police. Therefore, Gang Tae-po refers to the protesters' strategy to fool the police into heading to a wrong place, leaving them confused, while the real protest site is at a completely different location. What about the baby crystals? These colorful small beads are said to resemble the massive gatherings of anti-government protesters wearing different colors of raincoats and outfits, shining bright like a diamond. Minions is another term commonly used by protesters. The yellow characters from the Despicable Me series refers to the men in yellow shirts with short military haircuts at royalist gatherings. Natasha Romanoff, a fictional Russian spy from the Marvel comics, is often used to refer to spies infiltrating the anti-government protests. While Donald Dumb is a nickname that protesters use to describe Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha as the Thai version of the U.S. President Donald Trump. Most of the terms communicated by the protesters during the rallies or through their Telegram chats appear to have heavy references to food items or popular cartoon characters. These new terms have spread quickly, both on social media and mainstream media. But as the authorities start to break the code, the young protesters are coming up with new terms to keep them guessing.
So I hope this report will give you a better understanding about where these words actually came from, especially the Gang Tae-po slang. The whole explanation we all understand right now is that we're fooling the police to a certain place, but then the real protest site is at a different one.
Okay, so in another side of the story, it's about the special parliamentary session that's going on today. It's the second day. Before we tell you what's going on in there, what the Prime Minister said, the first thing we have to update to you is there was a member of parliament that was cutting himself in protest to the Prime Minister. Just about an hour ago, this is the Member of Parliament from Pheu Thai Party, Visan Techa Thirawat. The clip you see now, he actually was asking House Speaker to cut himself in protest to the Prime Minister. And he said that he has been the Member of Parliament since 1986. He thinks he has to do something today. He loves the Parliament. He doesn't want Parliament to get tarnished, but he doesn't know how to fix the problem. And then he asked whether the Prime Minister wants to be a tyrant or wants to be a hero. But I'm not sure how is that anything to do with cutting himself. Anyway, reportedly, he is now in good condition. He is getting stitches from in the hospital, and they said he will come back to the Parliament after he finished with the doctor.
Right.
That's a little graphic scene from the Parliament today, and we're going to go to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, earlier today, he hit back at the opposition Pheu Thai Member of Parliament, reminding them of the alleged massive corruption, which he claims took place during the regime of former Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra and the party's parliamentary dictatorship, using their majority-controlled parliament to push their political agenda. And the Prime Minister has been the target of heavy criticism from the opposition, particularly those from the Pheu Thai party, and their repeated calls for him to step down. So the Prime Minister sought permission from the Parliament President Chua Lik Pai to exercise his right to rebuttal. He said in his speech yesterday that he never mentioned the class struggle, but he just spoke about the new and the old generation in Thailand and his desire that they should work together. The Prime Minister said that what is being seen today is a breakdown of the family institution, with children not respecting their parents, students not respecting their teachers, and he asked whether anyone can accept this if it happened to their family. So while maintaining that he is not addicted to power, he said that he still has duties to perform and he cannot resign. He has to return the favor to the motherland. The Prime Minister also said that the current political conflict was the product of the military coup he staged in 2014. The opposition said that he toppled the government, Ms. Yingluck Shinawatra. But the Prime Minister didn't say the name of the party. He said that the opposition MPs keep criticizing the military coup while ignoring their own parliamentary dictatorship. I think that's the new vocabulary we got from the Prime Minister today.
Right.
Parliamentary dictatorship. The Prime Minister said that if there had been no coup back then, would there have been a riot? And he asked whether the opposition forgotten what they did that caused the chaos and corruption, and asked whether they have a short memory. That is the word of the Prime Minister. And also another hot topic is about the media clampdown and the privacy right of people that are using social media. The Minister of the Digital Economy and Society Ministry, Puthipong Punakan, has answered the Khao Klai Member of Parliament on the question of the privacy in using social media and the clampdown on the media. The Khao Klai Member of Parliament, Virod Laksana Adisorn, was talking about when the government said there was about 300,000 accounts on social media that did something wrong, violate the Computer Act. He said, Puthipong said that though they said there were about 300,000 accounts, there were only about a little over 2,000 accounts that has been charged and going through the court proceeding. And he said that he didn't want to charge everyone. He just do what with the people that actually violate the law. And when they talk about media clampdown, he said that he did everything through the court. And all the media that all the cases that they have been submitted to the court, 80% of the evidence came from the citizens themselves. So it's not just him. He said it's an evidence-based. And he said there are some media that has clear intention to attack the monarchy, broadcast what was said on the protest stage, which has no benefit to the country. And he said what he wants to do for Thailand is to create clean and safe zone in the social media. And he said he believes everyone knows what's happening in the social media in Thailand, and the ministry is doing as much as they can according to the law, and they are not being selective.
So that's the latest from the parliamentary session, and that's the second day here. And moving on to more lighter news, the second batch of Chinese tourists has finally arrived yesterday afternoon, and 145 Chinese tourists from Guangzhou arrived at Suvarnabhumi Airport yesterday afternoon, along with 118 foreign businessmen as well as 16 Thai returnees. The second batch of Chinese tourists have been sent to alternative state quarantine and will be under observation for 14 days, which is compulsory in order to prevent the spread of COVID-19. On top of this, they will have to take the COVID-19 test twice. Previously, the first batch of Chinese tourists arrived in Thailand on October 20th, and so far, all of the 39 tourists were tested negative for COVID-19. However, if you have any questions or concerns regarding the procedures at the airport, you can call the AOT contact center, which is 1722. 1722 is the AOT contact center, and this line will be available for 24 hours a day. Meanwhile, two foreigners in quarantine at a hotel in Samut Prakan province, where a French woman was found to be infected with COVID-19, developed symptoms and tested positive for the disease on October 15th. According to Dr. Sopon Iem Sirithawon, director of the General Communicable Diseases Division today, revealed that health investigators are still unable to determine whether the three cases are linked or how and where they became infected, adding that the hotel, which is used as an alternative state quarantine facility, may not be up to the required standard. The French woman developed coronavirus-related symptoms when she arrived on Samui Island with her husband and her son after she had completed her quarantine at a hotel in Samut Prakan province. The three patients have now been admitted to hospitals. Health officials have disinfected the areas at the hotel, including a gym where the COVID-19 virus was found on some of the equipment, while the results of DNA tests on the three infected patients are still pending.
I believe what's happening in Samut Prakan in the alternative state quarantine hotel will make authority really rethink and come up with some different kind of measure, or maybe even stricter measure regarding to how to do this prevention process, how to clean everything, and how to quarantine people.
And especially with some people at the state quarantines, in the 14-day period, people are supposed to stay where they are, not to move around the hotel. So it's definitely up to the hotels who have been listed as state quarantines or alternative state quarantines to impose stricter measures so that the COVID-19 doesn't spread around the hotel or causing the scare amongst the people as well.
Because we showed you before earlier, I think a couple weeks ago, there was a report from a hotel on Phuket or Samui Island. I think it was Samui Island.
Phuket, right? I'm
The
not sure.
sense.
The sense on Phuket.
Yes, on Phuket. And they were actually show us how they do things. They have CCTV camera that was very strict, and people cannot come out of their room. So I think it's also how strict the hotel operator have to be in operating everything.
Definitely. And just so you know, these are the stories we've also been following today.
Thailand found 3 new cases of COVID-19 today who returned from the United States, Qatar, and Sudan. All of them are now under state quarantine. The new cases brought the total number of infections to 3,746, with 8 new recoveries and no new fatalities. The Election Commission has decided to lodge criminal charges against Thanathorn Jungrungrungkit, former leader of the now defunct Future Forward Party, and 15 of its former party executives over the 191.2 million baht that the party received in the form of 2 loans from Thanathorn. In February this year, the Constitutional Court ruled that the loans were unlawful and in violation of Section 72 of the Political Party Act. If found guilty, Thanathorn would be liable to 5 years imprisonment and or a fine of 100,000 baht, while the other executives are liable to 3 years in jail and a collective fine of 2 million baht. Heavy rain from Typhoon Mulave will hit most parts of Thailand from tomorrow until Friday as the typhoon is heading towards central Vietnam. The Meteorological Department announced that several northeastern and eastern provinces will be hit by heavy rain and strong winds, while Bangkok and its vicinity will face heavy rain on Thursday and Friday.
And that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. Thank you very much for watching and we'll see you tomorrow. สวัสดี
สวัสดี
ค่ะ
ค่ะ